Welcome to the Couples Academy app. The Couples Academy app is your go-to hub for how to do marriage right. Get started with our app today by perusing our amazing features that conveniently allow you to connect. This app is packed with powerful content and resources to help you grow and stay connected. With this app, you can watch our messages, find marriage resources, watch, listen, and read the real-life stories of restored couples, sign up for events, read articles and blog posts, stay up to date with push notifications, share your favorite messages via Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or email, and download messages for offline listening. For more information about the Couples Academy app, go to couplesacademy.org.
Hello. Happy Tuesday. My name is LaKeesha Hines, and you're watching SOS, where I'm saving our sex lives one bedroom at a time. You all, oh my gosh, you are so good. Let me tell you something. I love when you all listen to me. I 100% love when you listen to me. I asked you to drop your name and let me know where you are streaming from. And guess what you did? You did it. And I didn't even have to ask you today. So, for those of you who needed me to say it, please drop your name and where you're streaming from so I can shout you out. What's up, Adrian? Team Smith in the house. Hello, my brother. Hello, my sister. Thank you all so much for watching. I am excited to continue our conversation today about when sex hurts. And I don't know how you all took this topic last time. I was talking about the ladies. So today I'm talking about my brothers. You know, I'm equal opportunity. And if I look out for my sisters, trust and believe, I'm going to look out for my brothers. So today we're talking about when sex hurts, and specifically our male counterparts. So if you have questions, I need to say this too. Because you all forget. If you have questions, please make sure you drop your questions in the chat so that I may respond to them. I love your questions. I love your comments. Prince of Petty, yes, you are right on time. You missed the last one. Guess what? You can always go back and watch the replay. So make sure you do that if that is something that you need to do. Okay. But thank you for being here. I appreciate you. All right. So I think this is one of those taboo topics. I don't think men have a tendency to talk about a lot of the issues that they face and a lot of challenges that they have, especially when it comes to pain. You know, men are kind of taught, I think, and raised to just suck it up and deal with it and don't complain and all of these things. But I understand that our men, you guys have pain sometimes too. So we're going to start off with physical pain, and then we'll transition to emotional, maybe psychological pain. Okay. Because I think it's so important that, again, we don't dismiss or discard or minimize what it is that you all go through. Okay. So I really want to send out some TLC to all of the fellas that are out there. in Couples Academy land and beyond. Please make sure you're liking, subscribing, and sharing. Please make sure you're telling all your friends, family, coworkers, and colleagues, neighbors, people you don't like, and people you like about Couples Academy and about the Couples Academy show, and specifically SOS, right? Because we want to make sure we're saving everybody's sex life. So make sure you're doing that. All right. So I think this kind of goes without saying that men, you should not be feeling pain during sexual intercourse unless something is wrong. Okay. So if you experience pain during intercourse, then there are so many different reasons why you could be potentially experiencing that pain. Now, we'll go through some of the most common reasons why men experience pain during intercourse. Keep in mind, there may be additional ones, okay? The very first one, infection. Sometimes STIs, sexually transmitted infections, could cause pain during intercourse. Thrush, actually. And so you may think I'm saying thrust, like from your pelvic area, but no, 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 no. Thrush, like when you had a baby, and that is that candidiasis, oropharyngeal candidiasis, which is like literally a yeast infection of the mouth, right? So that can actually happen for you in other areas. Okay. So if you have that, that could cause, and that's an infection that can cause pain during intercourse. Allergic reactions. All right. So I am assuming that those of you who are not married and you're engaged in a sexual activity, that you're protecting yourselves. Okay. And if you're married and you do not want children, I am assuming that there is some form of protection that you are using, or I should say, some form of birth control that you are using. And two of them may cause allergic reactions. Latex, for example, which are found in condoms, right, can cause an allergic reaction, which in turn could cause pain. And so if that is the case, if you have some type of reaction to latex, then you may have to go with the lamb skin. Now listen, I understand. I know the lamb is pricey just like the meat itself. But what is more important to you? Okay, you have to measure these things out, weigh it out, and figure out what's most important to you. So you may have to switch your condoms, okay, and move to a different type so you don't have that reaction to the latex. Another thing is spermicide. So obviously, again, this is something that is being used for birth control. And if you're having an allergic reaction to that, you may need to switch the brand that you're using, or may need to try another form of contraceptive because the one that you're using isn't working for you. Um, let's see. Now, for the males who are circumcised, which I know some of my brothers are not, which is fine. You know, you have to treat your body a little bit differently from those who are circumcised. So, for those who are circumcised, sometimes with the incision, it can be a little too much skin removed, and it can heal in a certain way that will cause a tight foreskin. That can cause pain during intercourse. And so that's something that you definitely want to consult with your doctor. Okay, all of these things really you should consult with your doctor, but that's something that you can discuss with your doctor to see what type of relief can be offered for you. Tears, tears in the foreskin that may not be visible is another thing that can cause pain during intercourse. Okay. And so with the tears, there's really not a whole lot you can do with that. I mean, obviously, you want to make sure that there's no bacteria getting inside of there. You want to keep the area clean. no matter what. But specifically, if there are tears, you want to make sure you're keeping that area clean and that you really just have to let it kind of run its course. You can definitely talk to your doctor about some type of ointment or, something that they may be able to give you. But most times that just kind of has to run its course, especially if they're small tears, not large tears. Um, Inflammation of the prostate gland, also called prostatitis, and that can cause pain during intercourse. Again, something else that you want to talk to your doctor about, because inflammation, depending on where it is, can be treated very differently. Okay, so you definitely want to consult with your physician. Sometimes, speaking of inflammation, there could be inflammation of the head of the penis, which is balanitis. And so, if you have inflammation there, that can cause pain during intercourse. Again, consult with your doctor. Sometimes you may have had some sexual activity that got a little different in a good way, and you may have some irritation from that previous activity, be it intercourse or other sexual activity. Maybe, okay, you got a little aggressive, got a little frisky, tried some new things. I don't know. There could be some irritation from that previous activity that you've had. So depending on what happened will determine what type of treatment you need for that. Testicular pain and swelling is another thing that can cause pain during intercourse. And if there's swelling in that testicular region, then again, we definitely want to make sure we get to the doctor. We have to make sure that there are no lumps, masses. We want to make sure there's no cancer there. Please do not freak out and panic. But I kind of do want you to freak out and panic a little bit, because men, you have a tendency overall in general not to go to the doctor. Okay. So if there's something going on where you have unusual, unexplained swelling, you need to go see your doctor. All right. Priapism, prolonged erection. Now, that literally is an emergency. You are going to need to see a physician immediately if you are experiencing an erection that lasts more than 4 hours. If you have an erection that lasts more than 4 hours straight, you definitely need to see a doctor. It's a medical emergency. So do not tarry, do not delay. Go see your doctor. Okay, go see your doctor. All right, so I see you here. I see you here. I see your comments. I love it. All right, Prince of Petty says, I got a bad back. I feel like I'll sound like a wuss if I say something. See, I knew it. I knew I was talking to the right people. Listen, you are not a wuss. The reality is your back is hurting. That's going to impact your ability to perform at your maximum capacity, my brother. So there does need to be a conversation with your partner about that. If you're in pain, you're not enjoying it, you're not experiencing the full pleasure that you could because you're in pain. So you definitely need to let your partner know, and more importantly, figure out what's going on with this back and what we need to do to treat that. Let's see. Adrian says, we have a unique situation in healthcare. We do automatically get to visit the gynecologist like women do. I think you're saying we don't, but women have a lot more information and checkups. We see a urologist only. Yes, Adrienne, exactly. That's what I'm saying. And it should not be so, right? It needs to be a part of your yearly checkups that you're doing, right? That you just make that a part of your yearly checkups, especially when you get over a certain age. And that's because naturally, we have a reduction in testosterone levels. And naturally, you will see a change in terms of your erections, the intensity, the frequency, the duration, your refractory period gets a little longer. There are things that change as we get older. And so you definitely want to make sure you're keeping those regular checkups and don't go just when there's a problem. And that's typically what happens with my brothers. And I want y'all to stop it. And so the reason why, there are many reasons, but one of the main reasons why women have a tendency to outlive men is because of exactly what you're saying, Adrian. We go to the doctor, we have our checkups, and prevention is key, right? So early detection, especially when it pertains to cancer, is like a life or death type of thing. So we have to make sure that we are getting to see the doctor so that the doctor can catch anything early before it turns into something that can create some major life altering issues. So I love that comment, Adrian. And then you said got to do it every day as you get older. I'm assuming you're talking about stretching. Said stretch your back out, start lifting and strengthening, switch positions frequently. Knees can also give out, wear back brace. Knees can definitely give out, okay? And the knees are very important. Remember, you watching SOS and you need your knees. You need your back. You need your whole body. But you definitely need those knees and you definitely need that back, okay? So we got to do whatever we have to do to keep those items strong. And a lot of times, especially with knees, there's a lot of injuries or issues because of inflammation. So we can deal with the inflammation piece, which a lot of times can be controlled with diet, and you don't have to deal with medication. But see your doctor. See your doctor. I love this bro love that's going on in the chat. Um, that's being shared between Prince of Petty and Adrian. I love it. Um, I didn't see your comment. You say you just cooked lamb the other day. I love it. It's expensive, right? You know what I'm talking about. And I love what you said, Adrian. Back pain mostly comes from tight glutes and hamstrings. Absolutely. So you got to stretch out all of that, your entire body, right? To reduce that tension. And I know you only go when there's a problem. Not every, but many of you only go when there's a problem. So listen, the conversation is just getting started. I'm loving this chat in the feed. And so keep it coming, keep it coming. I do see another comment there, but we'll take a quick break and then I definitely will jump into the remainder of these comments. So don't swipe left or right. Don't you go anywhere. I'll be right back. You're watching SOS. Welcome back. Welcome back. You're watching SOS, and my name is LaKeesha Hines. And oh my gosh, when I tell you, I have been cracking up. Adrian, you and Prince of Petty have like made my day today. Um, Gosh, let me see. What did you say? Oh, here it is. Adrian says, gotta treat sex like you're a high school athlete. Train for it. Tape your ankles. Listen, I was sitting here when I read that. I'm like, okay, so knee pads, taped ankles. Gosh, who was that? Which basketball player? It may have been LeBron. It was either Kobe or LeBron. I'm trying to remember. um, sitting courtside, right, or on the bench or whatever. And I think he may have been done playing for this particular game that I was watching. And he literally was wrapped up like a mummy. Okay. Like the legs were wrapped up, the arms were wrapped up, like everything was wrapped up. And I don't know if it was heat or if it was cold, but basically trying to keep these joints together. Okay. So I'm like, hey, do what you got to do. You got to have on your back brace and your knee braces and tape up them ankles, tape your wrist up so you have good support, whatever you need to do, okay, so that we can get done what we need to get done. That's what you need to do. So I appreciate your contribution. Also, you went on to say that insurance doesn't usually cover urologists at a young age. Prostate checkups are usually older unless there's a family history. Exactly. You're exactly right. And that's what I'm saying. You know, when you get to a certain age, you do want to make sure, fellas, that you are going to your doctor and you make that urology appointment and make it a part of your yearly exams that you do. And to your point, unless you have a family history, then they'll see you earlier, just like women with breast cancer. You know, if you have a family history of it, they'll see you earlier. They'll start, I believe, around 35. If you have a family history of it, checking your breast. Some women I've heard as young as 28 have started getting their breast exams, mammograms. Okay, so let's jump back into our topic. I'm super, super, super happy to see men talking about this subject. And again, I love getting that feedback from you all, especially since I'm talking about you, right? So I love to hear what it is that you have to say. All right, so let's talk treatment for men who have pain during intercourse. And again, you know, I told you it really just depends on your situation, and you do need to make sure you go see your doctor and talk to them about what's going on. So obviously, if there's an infection, you're either going to go the antifungal route or the antibiotic route. If it's an infection, you know, if it's a virus, is really you can't do any antibiotics or anything. But you could go one of those two routes, antibiotics or antifungals. With your allergic reaction, just whatever product you're using, stop using it. Okay, stop using it. And if it's something that your doctor prescribed for you, then let them know you're having an allergic reaction. Can they prescribe something else? um Tight foreskin, stretching, topical steroids, maybe surgery. I know, don't freak out, men. Every time you hear surgery and it has anything to do with your penis, you freak out on me. But again, what's most important to you? Do you want to be enjoying sex? Okay, and then you go through some temporary pain, or do you want to keep not enjoying sex, not to have, you know, that temporary season of pain post surgery? All right, those tears, like I said, most times it'll heal on its own, but you definitely want to clean it and then moisturizer, but let your doctor instruct and guide. Lubrication when you have intercourse, that's huge. I tell my ladies that all the time, that if they are experiencing pain because of, you know, too much friction, then they need to use lubrication. And that's another thing. I just thought about that. If your partner, if you have the small micro tears, right? And your partner is not moisturized, lubricated enough, that can cause even more pain because there's more friction and that can cause you more pain. So you definitely want to make sure you're using lubrication. Inflammation that we talked about, the balanitis. So depending on the cause of it, maybe steroids, maybe an antifungal cream, maybe antibiotics. Talk to your doctor. We talked about previous sexual activity. And so, again, you kind of have to take a break. Okay. You have to ride the bench for a little bit until the pain goes away. And then again, lubrication. Lubrication, if there's inflammation, then again, antibiotics, pain meds, drink fluids. If you have a chronic condition, then again, you want to talk to your doctor because they're probably going to prescribe some type of anti inflammatory medication. Um, you know, they may give you something to relax the muscles and the prostate and part of your bladder. And then, of course, you know, you may need to make some changes in terms of your daily self care. You may have to do some physical therapy. You may have to do warm baths. Do some relaxation exercises. Surgery may be necessary. If you are experiencing testicular pain, again, that depends on the cause, but you may get surgery. It may be just rest. Maybe it's ice, maybe antibiotics, maybe you'll get pain medication. Talk to your doctor. And then the last thing we talked about were priapism, which are the prolonged erections. So I told you if it lasts more than 4 hours, then you need to go to the hospital. Okay. And they may give you some drugs that they have to inject directly into the penis. I know they may have to drain blood from the penis. There may be surgery needed. I don't want to freak you out, but this is important and it is a big deal. So you should not take this lightly. Another thing that you can do um, with the prolonged erection, because it can be extremely painful, pain medications, exercise, go for a walk, drink water, warm bath or shower might help you. And simple enough, right? Try to urinate, that might help. But definitely over 4 hours, go to the hospital. Okay. All right. Kikoba Fett. Hopefully I said your name correctly. Your question. Good day. Good day. Your question: why do erections hurt after long periods of intimacy with my wife? Months between intimacy. She's not in the mood as much since ending her affair. Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Okay. So I'm a little bit confused because you said after long periods of sex. So are you saying, let me see, long periods of intimacy with my wife, months in between? So I think you're saying that there's been an extended period of time where there has not been sex. And then so your erections hurt after like long periods of not having sex. And so that's what I'll speak to. If it's different, let me know because you may be saying it's been a long period of time. When we finally do have sex, it hurts. So I'm not sure which one you're saying. So I'll speak to both because I'm not sure. All right. So there's something called epididymal hypertension and street slang blue balls. So I mean that's what it is, right? That's the colloquial term. Everybody knows that. How many people have heard of epididymal hypertension? Probably probably Adrian, right? But because it sounds like you might be in the medical field of some sort. So maybe you know, but how many people really know that terminology, right? So what happens with this EH is pain, aching of the testicles after having an erection without an orgasm. So I don't know if, so speaking to the first scenario, there have been long periods of time where you have not had intimacy with your wife, and so you have pain. It could be because you were stimulated, you became aroused, but then nothing happened. There was no release. If that happens for an extended period of time and it happens consistently, then that can cause this EH. Okay. Because what happens with an erection anyway, you get all this blood flow that moves directly to the penis and it's built up and it's pressure, right? So, what happens when there's pressure that builds up? There has to be some relief, some release of that pressure. And so, if you're not experiencing that release, that can cause pain. Um, Now, if it's the other scenario where you are having pain after you ejaculate, after you have an orgasm, because, again, there's been an extended period of time, you all haven't had sex. And then when you do go to have sex, it's painful for you. It could be for the same reason, or it could be that there's something else going on there. And so I definitely would say reach out to your doctor because I don't know, it could be something more serious going on. I don't want to freak you out at all, but it could be something else going on. So it really just depends. Like, are you having pain when you have an erection, or are you only having pain when you ejaculate? Or is it that you're having pain in between intimacy, the times that you're being intimate with your wife? Or like, I'm not sure. So I feel like I need more information. But definitely it could be what I said. It could be EH. It could be that, or it could be something else going on there with you. Maybe you're not experiencing the release that you need to have to reduce that built up pressure and tension that's happening. Um, I'm sorry, I'm just reading the chat. Adrian says, heard of it. More like get it. Sounds like receptors aren't used to the pressure. Yes, yes. Um, are you doing things for yourself in between? That's the question. Okay, so he's talking about masturbating. He's talking about masturbating. Are you masturbating in between? And then he says, sometimes for myself, I know the erections are more intense if there hasn't been any interaction for a while. Exactly, exactly. So, every time a man gets an erection and there's a release, then the next time, and I'm talking about like an isolated incident, right? So let's say this is one encounter, one experience. Every time there's an erection and a release, each erection after that is not going to be as intense, just like the release isn't going to be as intense. So that's an isolated incident. Think about an extended period of time where you're going weeks, possibly months, and there's no sex, but you're still having like minor erections in between. When you finally are ready for the real thing, you're super excited. So there'll be even more blood flow to that area. And yeah, that pressure may be a little bit too much. So one or two things got to happen. And I understand that you don't have control over one of the things that I'm going to say. You actually want to be having sex more frequently with your partner. That's going to do multiple things. That is going to help you in terms of the buildup and kind of regulating that. And also, it will help you not be as excited when you all do become intimate with each other because of, it has been so long in between that time. And so either that needs to happen or you may need to work on some self pleasure, but you want to talk to your spouse about that. Make sure she's cool with it. You want to talk through that, okay, together as a couple. Man, this time flies. Why don't you all let me know? I am so over time, but thank you so much for your contributions and comments today. I appreciate it. I felt like I had two co hosts today. So, you all enjoy your day, enjoy the rest of your week, and get to the doctor, fellas. Get your checkups, okay? Make sure you're doing that for yourselves, for your spouses, and your families, all right? So, I love you. Nothing you can do about it in Hassani's famous words. And I'll see you all next week. Have a good day. Bye.